I add my take on which is the best model to use for what when it comes to implementing applications, so software development. For what is my experience, I use a stack of different models, each one with its own characteristic. Because I hear people say, oh, OpenAI Codex is the best, Cloud Code is the best, Gemini is the best. To be true, each of them has a high good quality and a bad quality on doing some task. What I do in the full process is this. I have a cool idea. I take GROK Companion, I turn it on, and I have a nice relaxed chat explaining my idea and getting feedback that are, even though it looks like it's a cartoon, but it's actually an AI, so it's very well vetted for, practical aspect, technical implementation, etc. So brainstorming, GROK Companion, the best thing. You come out of it with clear ideas, very well aligned with the correct method for implementation. Then I find that the first incipit to implement something, Codex is very nice. It can throw out a very good and practical UI, but it stops to a certain level. So it does something that is functional. If you want to do a simple application, vibe coding, that's probably the best model to use. But when it comes down to do serious, very complex and large application, the only one model that, it's not just the model, but also the method of working the cloud code is the one that wins. So I do brainstorm with GROK Companion. I come out with OpenAI, even ChatGPT to create the first initial prompt, because in ChatGPT I can sit down and give a long verbal explanation by voice, and ChatGPT can create a very beautiful prompt. I take this prompt, I pass it on to Codex, and I have the basic initial aspect of the application I want to do. Then I shift to Cloud Code, and Cloud Code, what it does, see what has been done and start working on that. And we can go down in details and very complex mechanics, even if there are very complex database implementation, relations between things. It's good to destroy and rebuild. Usually I do the implementation in PHP on a web server as a prototype. When, after destroying and rebuilding things, seeing the correct schema for database and all done with the Cloud Code, then I start coding in C, C++, and the work that is done fantastically in this level is done with the Cloud Code. But Cloud Code sometimes gets stuck with the issues that find a solution that are not really the correct one. Going to specific problems and finding amazing solution, but this is just for specific piece of code, Gemini is the best. With Gemini, you say, look, I have this piece of code. I'm not convinced that it's working the way that it should. And obviously, I'm not talking about vibe coding anymore. You are the developer, you know what the code does. And Gemini finds you the best specific piece of code to optimize the implementation. Gemini has no capacity to have a large view of a big project. Code has this capacity, but is not tremendous good in very specific piece of code. And OpenAI in Codex, in my opinion, is limited to the first mile. So if people are not very good developers, then they can stop there. So you can get an application, but be sure that there are gonna be security or issues with security. There are, functionality can be limited. They don't go deep down to make a large, important project. So this is my stack when I want to implement a complex application, and I'm doing it. I'm shocked that things are so fast to come out. I was used to work with actual human developers, would have a loop of 1 week for things. Here with this AI, you get a fatigue because everything happens 10 minutes every 10 minutes. So as a software architect, a project manager, shifting from humans to AI is like driving a Fiat 500 in the city or start driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini in the same traffic but at high speed. So it requires a much more focus and capability to shift your thoughts in a very fast manner.